The scenes of massive destruction. Dead bodies and hundreds of animal carcasses strewn all over. Villages wiped out, telecommunication lines down, and major parts of the state of Orissa cut off. The super cyclone which hit the coastal regions of Orissa has left in its wake a story of awesome disaster and great misery. Among the towns which felt the brunt of this wrath of Mother Nature was the port city of Paradip. But over 20 million people, more than half the state's population, have reportedly been affected in the disaster. So gigantic has been the scale of damage that to this day it has been impossible to tabulate the actual scale of loss, both in terms of human life and property. A couple of days after the monumental damage, relief operations began on a war footing, and the army was called out to assist in these measures. But till these operations picked up, incidents of looting and food riots were reported from many villages and towns. This has now been followed by fear of epidemic striking the cyclone-ravaged coastal Orissa. The attendant issue of disaster management has also been raised by some experts. Given the poor record in the country of dealing with the aftermaths of natural disasters, critics question why preventive measures cannot be put in place. The importance of telecommunication in helping relief work has also been underlined. Observers argue that rescue and relief operations could have been speedily implemented had information been available of what services and relief measures were required and where. The tragedy of the super cyclone in Orissa could be mitigated to some extent if crucial lessons are learned from this experience, so that the central government and the state government can put in place with immediate effect a more credible and effective disaster management scheme. The number of dead in the super cyclone in Orissa touched 8,000 this week, even as rescue and relief operations were on in full throttle. Rescue operators fear the toll might rise even further with the recovery of more bodies as more areas were being cleared. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Mr. Atal Bihari Vajpayee constituted a high-powered task force headed by Defence Minister George Fernandes to direct